To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Rise of Legion India League of Legends tournament powered by Intel. I'll be one of your casters today. My name is Apollonia and with me is Anthracite.
Hi guys, welcome to this third quarterfinals. Today we have Seven Sins versus Gatekeepers. Very interesting game ahead. Yesterday we saw a very upset victory come in the form of Demos Force beating TRD, India's #1 seed. So this has set the pace for the tournament. Anything can happen. There's clearly no favorites. Anybody can win. Are you excited for this game, Apple?
Yes, I'm really excited. It's going to be great. You know, both these teams, they deserve to be where they're at right now. At Seven Sins and Gatekeepers, very new teams for me to watch, you know, but I enjoy their different kind of gameplay. I'm very excited to watch SK Please again because he proved to be able to play really well from, he didn't have a lead, he wasn't ahead, but he was able to play from behind. So I really like that about him. And we're going into the first pick of this first match. It's a best of 3. What is it going to be? A Cho'Gath? Oh, sorry, it's a Cho'Gath ban. All right.
It's a Cho'Gath ban. So we see a Diana being banned out against Spartacus. Spartacus known for his Diana. He plays a really sick mean Diana. We see an Hecarim being banned out. Again, Hecarim, a very strong jungler, quite understandable he being banned out. On the other side, we see Katrina being banned out. Katrina bot, one trick Kata main. Definitely you can't let him be on that Katrina. Morgana, you don't want that chain CC, it's very annoying. And Venom plays a really mean Cho'Gath. So definitely one trick picks, comfort picks being banned out. I'm really excited to see what SK plays. The last match with Seven Sins unfortunately was a walkover, so we didn't see SK or Doc perform. But the match before that, we saw SK get camped for the first 10 minutes and then somehow ended up carrying the whole game. So it was really amazing. So we see the first pick coming in form of Tristana, and on the other side we see a Nautilus being picked up. What are your thoughts on the first picking Tristana?
I like the Tristana pick because it's really safe. Tristana is a really good AD carry, you know. She has increased range throughout the whole game. Very safe. That has a disengaging ultimate. I like that about Tristana. So it is a good pick for them. And looking at the counter pick, you see Potato Monster copy, they picked out the Nautilus and the Xin Zhao. Nautilus to probably counter the Tristana. I think that's what they're going for. And Xin Zhao is Hmm. I do like Xin Zhao as a jungler. He's really strong with the right keystone and with the right item build. He just cannot get too behind. And yeah, I think it's looking fine so far. There's a Thresh coming in with Tristana. How do you feel about the Thresh Tristana kind of combo?
So, Tristana, because they first picked Tristana, I think they want to leave the Tristana as a flex pick. Tristana is really good in the mid lane. It's also really good in the bot lane. We see a Zac being picked up. Zac definitely one of the strong junglers right now. It gives you a lot of priority, and it gives you a lot of gank potential because you just can move from one. You can just move from one lane to another lane so fast. We see Thresh being picked up. Thresh definitely a very very annoying support. And on the other side, we see a Zinja being picked up. Straightforward, clear, high gank potential, very interesting jungler. When you see a Zinja being picked up, you know the team is going to go for some aggressive gameplay. We see a Nautilus Kaisa lane, definitely a priority bot lane. At level 1, they offer so much burst. So Ikathian Rain plus the Dredge line and the passive proc from Nautilus, you can just lock down one target and maybe just take out 3-4 of their HB bar at level 1, forcing them to sort of back off. What are your thoughts on that lane?
I feel I definitely agree with you. It's gonna be a good lane. Yeah, most definitely. One thing I just want to point out, you see, there's that Urgot ban and now the Darius ban. It's great. They're target banning what role has not been picked yet, and that's really good. I'm not sure if a mid lane ban is gonna come out between the both. Pyro is a sub. He's not playing today, and he's a really good one-trick Vladimir. So we don't see that those bans happening. Instead, it's going to be focused on the top laners. I know Zuko's a really really good top laner, so it's a good decision on the other team's hands.
That's very true. We see a Syndra and a Darius being banned out. Darius definitely very, very annoying to deal with in the top lane. On the other side, we see an Urgot and we see a Pantheon being banned out. So Urgot definitely again at the max level W, you can just keep the W on perm on. And Pantheon, we've all seen how big of a nuisance Pantheon can be. He can just deal so much burst amount of damage, and a nerf to the Pantheon has already been lined up for the next patch. So definitely they're respecting the meta, they're banning it out. Syndra being banned out because Syndra can be taken bot lane as well, mid lane as well. Syndra is just so annoying to deal with in the current meta. We see a Mundo being picked up. Mundo, oh my god, he's so strong as a jungler, but at the same time he can send top as well. So we would definitely be seeing Venom take Mundo top. We've seen him do that before. Zuko was practicing on quite a bit recently, and I'm not surprised seeing him go take it top. We're seeing an Echo being picked up. We could see an Echo being picked up, but oh, it's an Azir. So Spartacus will take that Azir mid. That means it's a Tristana AD carry with the Thresh support. That's again a very high priority kill lane. On the other side, we see Katrina bot. He might be picking up that Kiana. He's hovering over other champions, but we've seen him play a lot of Kiana recently when he's been climbing the solo queue ladders. Let's see what he picks on. And it's an Echo. Echo, again, a very, very strong pick. So, looking at both team comps, Apple, what are your thoughts?
Right now, I'm leaning a lot more towards Gatekeepers. I like the fact that they have that Mundo in front, the Nautilus, and then they have Sinchel for the disengage. Echo also, well, the Echo will have to get a hit. If Echo is playing from behind, Gatekeepers will literally have no damage at all. So it's very important to make sure that Katarina bot does have that early game start. You see, it's an Azir, with Sinjao and Echo, it's not too hard to get constant kills on the Azir. So I do hope to see uh, Copy focus on Katarina bot's lane. As for Seven Sins, looks pretty standard to me. The Tristana and the Thresh. I think because I think one of the previous games that Seven Sins was in, SK Please, he got camped really really hard. He had 2 deaths in lane, but that was basically the only 2 deaths he got in like a very long time, and he just came back from there. I think this Tristana pick is to ensure that he is safe along with the Thresh because he has the utility with the Lantern, the Flay. It's going to be a safe lane for them. However, I'm not really a big fan of the Zac pick because I do feel that Zac lacks a lot in damage. There's better, tankier options like Sejuani. You can stack that stun. So Zac's a bit of a dicey thing for me, but we'll see because a good jungler will be able to use Zac during a team fight and just displace everybody. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's very true. We see. So looking at both team comps, both look like a team fighting team comp. But on the side of Gatekeepers, we expect it to be pretty aggro. They are the side which can start fighting on pretty early. Echo is such a nuisance. He can just ulti back to whatever position he wants. His stun also got a buff recently to 2 seconds. So Echo is somebody I'll be looking for to make most of the plays this game. Uh, Meanwhile, Spartacus on Azir will definitely be very, very interesting. We see double teleports being run on both sides, and both support are picking up ignite. So definitely a lot of teleport plays to be seen in this game.
Yeah, most definitely. Because the fact that two members from each team has a teleport, they got to utilize that. I don't know how it will be very effective for Azir, but I mean, if he's taking teleport, he must be confident. So I would like to see, especially how the Azir uses it, because it's pretty standard how On will use his TP. He comes down, calls the giant ram. Is it a ram? I think it's a ram. Calls the giant ram. That's how he starts. Mundo, he'll just run straight up to you, and plus he's the top laner, so he would need that teleport to make sure that he does get that CS. And as well for Echo, standard, mirroring. It's just the Azir with the teleport. I don't know how I really feel about that, but it's gonna be cool.
I mean, he might be deciding to play that lane safe. He doesn't want that kill lane or the fight sort of a lane. So Azir taking teleport is something very interesting we'll see. So I'm really excited to see what rune pages they pick out. I won't be seeing. So I hope you won't be seeing some fancy stuff happening here. But Mundo, we haven't seen Mundo a long time in the top lane. Mundo and On are two picks we haven't been seen played in the top lane a lot. But now we're seeing a lot of we've seen. I think this is the third time we're seeing On in this tournament. What are your thoughts on that? How come On is suddenly coming back in the meta?
On still serves as a really good tank because he offers a lot of CC, and On if On has space to farm and he's comfortable in lane, he doesn't even have to back. So the beauty of him is that he can just get his items, build it there and then. He has a great engage ultimate which he can use to start the fights, which I know is what Seven Sins is looking for. With you see they got the Thresh hook to engage, they got the Zac just bouncing in, and you have the On to start. One thing I'd like to thank you guys for coming down to the stream. Do subscribe to this YouTube channel. It is Legion Gaming India's YouTube channel. There's many more broadcasts and regular gaming content with some of the biggest names in gaming from around India. So thank you all so much. Let us know who you're supporting in the chat. And it looks like we're in the loading screen. It's about to get wild.
Okay, so we see a Mundo with a Conqueror. He hasn't gone the grasp of the Undying, so that'll be very interesting. Echo, pretty much standard going in with that electrocute, looking for that burst amount of damage. Kaisa is not running the standard press the attack. I've seen a lot of Kaisers run press the attack as of late, but he's going to go with that fleet footwork. He does want that increased sustain and that increased movement speed burst to be able to move around. Meanwhile, we see Azir with that lethal tempo. Azir with that lethal tempo is just so strong. What lane do you think the jungler should really focus on this game?
Yes, like I did say earlier, I like to see Echo having a lot of attention against that Azir, just to give Azir a harder time to scale. For Zac, I would like to see him focus most of his energy in bot lane, because that Thresh and Tristana is really easy for them to follow up. So I think that would be, a good way for Lucifer on Zac to get a head start. And now we are in the game. Everything is about to get started. Everyone's spawned on their fountains and it's about to go.
That's very true. So, do you expect to see any do you expect to see any invades coming from any side of the team at level one?
I don't. As far as invades, they have both sides have a support with a hook mechanism. I don't think they're gonna contest it because it can go either way. They don't know how many of them they might meet, but it looks like each team is going for the safe option of protecting the entries of the jungle, because if the enemy team does get an early ward inside, that could basically mess up the whole jungler's pathing, and it's going to be really hard to gank. One thing I like to say is that, looking at Gatekeepers, I like the way the Mundo's at the top, Sinjao is slightly towards mid, and it's just basically very, very spread out. And I feel that a lot of teams should pick this up to make sure and to make sure that it goes smooth for their jungler, because it is hard when you get spotted out. It just messes up your whole pathing and all your camps.
That's very true. We see on with a minion dematerializer. I think I've seen this for the first time, but it looks pretty interesting. It'll give on the damage bonus he needs against minions. Would be able to help him farm quick. And both junglers starting on top side. So we see sort of a mirror pathing coming in. Do you expect any funny stuff and any quick ganks happening bot lane this time?
I like the fact that both sides are starting at the top side, because for Zac, that means he gets a good pathing to the bot lane. However, there is a ward inside Zac's red buff, so they are going to know when he's going to come. So I think, Kai'Sa and Nautilus can expect this. As for Xin Zhao, I mean, either way is fine. I just think that if he did, like, the fact that he start top and now he's going to the bottom side, Azir's going to least expect it when he ganks, because everyone automatically from the blue side, you think that the enemy will come from the top side of the river from the red side, if you get what I mean.
Oh, a level 2 reached on the bot side, and they just show a little bit of aggression. The bot lane Vanquisher tries to connect a dredge line hook, but SK and Dominic will both walk out of it. A huge wave coming onto SK, he'll be happy to clear it out. Lucifer, meanwhile, struggling a bit to kill the red buff. Remind you, he started the game without proper leash, so that's what also enables. That's also something really cool about Zac jungler. Zac as a jungle, you aren't very heavy reliant on leashes. Katrina just poking at Spartacus, and then they just trading at mid lane. Where do you think we'll see most of the fighting this game?
I think most of the fighting is going to happen in the bot lane, Lucifer definitely wants to give SK that early game dominance, because SK is a good player. He is reliable. We saw him come back from like a low place from one of the last matches. So I like to see action in the bot lane. I like to see more of SK, I'm not going to lie. As for Potato Monster and Vanquisher, both of them, I've seen them around quite a bit in the Indian community. I don't really have a gauge on like how exactly they are as players. So if all the fights happen in bot lane, I know it's gonna be spicy, especially for me. I'm gonna love that.
That's very true. It's gonna be an interesting game. Something looks pretty even. We see Zinja pathing mid, dog spots him, and meanwhile a hook being landed on Vanquisher bot. But that was a really massive shield coming in from Nautilus. He won't take any damage and would just be able to walk out of that situation. And he tries to land a return hook. SK will take one hit from the turret, but be able to W from out of there. Potato Monster trying to go a bit ham on Dominic. He definitely will be able to deal some damage, but both of them look very safe. So bot trading blows, but at the same time keeping a farm. This is really, really interesting stuff.
Yes, and Xin Zhao is invading the top side of Zac's jungle. I feel that Xin Zhao needs to find a way to shut down Spartacus on Azir, because he's running lethal tempo as well. Azir is going to be an absolute monster towards the mid and late game, so that's something that Gatekeepers should keep in mind. As for Seven Sins, I don't feel that each champion on Gatekeepers is particularly scary. So for Seven Sins, I think it just depends on their team macro, because their potential comes from team fights a lot more than small skirmishes that Gatekeepers might do. So that's how I feel. Like, I really hope that Seven Sins does pull off really good team macro. And it looks like there's a pause.
There's a pause coming in. They've been complaining for some ping spikes happening. I think either Dominic or SKDC there, so we'd be waiting to see what happens. SK does get hooked bot lane from Vanquisher, so he's not in the best sort of a position right now. The ready call has been made, so we'll be going into the game quick. But coming back to the Azir point, yeah, Azir with lethal tempo is really, really disgusting, and it'll be really interesting to see late game how Azir plays it out.
Yeah, and so far I was just looking at the CS scores, and it looks like everyone is pretty even, but one that is noticeably different is the Sinchao and the Zac. So Sinchao, you know, he's definitely getting ahead of the Zac, clearing a lot more. He did counter jungle the Zac, probably that's why. I feel that this is so bad because Zac as a pick, he will struggle in the early game, but we never know, you know, the synergy that they can have. So we see Echo really low on mana, Spartacus just poking him, taking all of his health away. SK is also really low, so that is gonna be a little bit worrying. Kai'Sa Nautilus is a really good, you know, duo in bottom lane. So SK and Dominic, they have to watch out. Meanwhile, top lane, you know, just two tanks fighting. That's all. I like to ask you, you know, looking at Katarina bot, he actually went for a corrupting potion and then bought a dark seal. Now, is that actually going to be beneficial for Echo?
Yeah, uh, I mean, Corrupting Pot does give Echo that standard stat. Echo does struggle with mana a bit early on, so Corrupting will just give him the leeway to be able to spam skills a lot more. Plus, he's against a range champion like Azir, so he'll be very reliant on the mana because Azir can just outrange him. We see Katrina going 6, and he'll just deal a lot of burst damage on Doc. Doc needs to be a bit wary.
All right, and wow, so it's 6 minutes into the game, nothing really has happened. First blood has not been taken. Seven Sins has about a few hundred gold in lead, not too much of a difference. You know, early game, there's not much happening, you know, it's just more the laning phase. You can though see everyone's mechanical skill, how, you know, they path themselves in the lane, how they move, and how they CS. The first Drake that will be coming up is the Infernal Drake. That's gonna increase all of their damage. It's going to be really good. And yeah, right now, Zac, I feel, you know, it's hard for him. I like the fact that he did pick up Bami Cinder first because that's gonna help in his clear a lot. And Sinchao just has crazy items right now compared to Zac. He has, you know, two long swords and the skirmisher's saber, so that's going to be very good for him when it comes to 2v2 dueling. Because right now, Sinchao with Echo or Sinchao with Mondo will be much stronger as either duos against their opponents.
That's very true. Looking at CSing happening right now, everything looks pretty even. The only major lead we sort of see is Lucifer falling behind. I mean, Zinjao can clear jungles pretty fast, so that's what he's doing. Katrina bot and Spartacus keep trading blows up mid. We haven't seen a lot of jungle pressure coming in the game. Dominic flashes in. Will Flame behind, will land a stun. There's a lot of damage being dealt to Potato Monster. SK will sort of deal some more damage, ulti him out of it, and there's a flash heal burn on the side of Kai'Sa, and a flash ignite burn on the side of Thresh. So an ADC without a fashion heal, definitely a high kill potential target.
Exactly, you know, great skirmish down there. Sadly, no first blood. We see Katarina bot going in hard on Azir. Not much is gonna happen. Sinchao just casually walks across, you know, just a drive-by. Not doing much, you know, just hello. But I do hope to see him start the Infernal Drake. Is he actually gonna do it? No, I think he's looking for the Scuttle. And a pause again because top lane has DC'd from the side of Seven Sins. Of course, we all know it's customary, very customary for the pausers. It's a good luck blessing. All right, so I'd just like to let everyone in the chat know, do tell us who you are supporting. Is it Seven Sins or is it Gatekeepers? So do you have anything to add in as of now, like so far what has happened in the game?
That's very true. So, okay, looking at CS scores, everything is even. Looking at jungle pressure scores, I feel everything is even. So, but I feel on the side of Gatekeepers, the early game pressure, which they should have bought, is not coming through, because when you have a Zinja, when you have an Echo, when you have sort of a Nautilus Kai'Sa bot lane, you're looking at blood pretty early on. On the other side, you have a Tristana, you have an Azir, which is sort of a late game scaling comp that on becoming really beefy and tanky late game. So what are your thoughts on that, Apple?
So Azir, yeah, his scaling is going to be great. And you know, his ultimate is always such a good disengage. So one thing that's a little bit confusing to me about Seven Sins comp is that Zek's ultimate has been reverted. So Zek's ultimate can be a catch, it can be a disengage. Azir is also a disengage. Tristana has a disengage, but On and Thresh, they are engagers. So for Seven Sins, they gotta make sure that nothing clashes, because if two people have a different thought on how they're going to fight that fight, and it can just end up a mess. You know, you just get Tristana blowing someone away and Zach completely missing his ultimate, or maybe On also missing. They have to make sure that their communication is extremely strong. As for Gatekeepers, you know, I feel that there's a little bit more standard for them. You know, everybody should understand that Mundo will do whatever he can to stay alive and just be sticky, annoying, put that constant slow. That's Mundo's job. And then you have Sinchao, you know, his disengage is really good as well. It keeps him safe. It can be a tool to keep his backline safe. Echo pretty much does his own thing, bursts in, and if Nautilus does engage, I feel that everything can go fine. But remember guys, everything is going to boil down on who gets the lead and how both teams fight. So overall, I hope to see Seven Sins come together more as one. And I hope that Gatekeepers can show early dominance right now in the game. And I don't think Echo's having a great time because his CS, you know, is a little bit suffering. On is suffering, but it's still pretty much even. 300 gold difference, you know, that's not much. That's not much at all. The Infernal Drake is still looking extremely juicy. Either team can get it. You know, we look at the wards. Oh, we see an engage coming in from the Echo, but it does not work well for him. Azir just stabs him with his soldiers right in the back. Big oof. And it looks like two junglers are going to meet each other.
Ooh, a fight breaking down at Dragon. We see a teleport coming in from both sides. Meanwhile, Doc caught in a stun. He will push Katrina about behind. He will deal a lot of damage. On coming in from behind. They're turning the gank around. Esther comes in. First blood going to the top laner. And that's a kill. Fiesta going in. Vancouver will get a kill on Spartacus. Zuko dropping low. Zack's passive has been buffed and he will be killed by Potato Monster. Now, there's a turnaround on, and that will be an ace. A 10-minute ace coming in for a game which had 0 fights up till now. All over an Infernal Drake, and the Infernal Drake will go on to the side of Gatekeepers.
I do feel that Gatekeepers played that extremely well. They knew what was their strength and they went in. Like I said, they're really strong individually in the earlier part of the game, and Seven Sins is just overall more of a team fighting composition. I do feel that Seven Sins does have like lesser damage because Kai'Sa scales well, but it's just the Azir and the Tristana, they scale even harder. So the late game might be more in Seven Sins' favor, but right now I don't think that was inevitable for them. 5 kills though for the side of Gatekeepers and an immediate 3,000 gold lead. I think that's, sorry, 2.5k gold lead. That's insane. Mundo is so fat right now, 2-0 and 3. He's gonna be Big Daddy Mundo right now.
Big Daddy Mundo indeed. Mundo is very annoying if he gets that farm up early game because he just turns out to be so beefy. Once he gets that Warmog, I don't think he'll be going for Warmog's second item, but the Sunfire definitely allows him to be even more annoying, gets him that extra armor. On sort of isn't able to deal that much damage, but I'm pretty surprised how Zuko is holding up the lane against him. He's doing pretty well. He's doing better than what he was supposed to do. But definitely that the gank on the fight breaking down over the Infernal Drake has just put them a lot behind.
Yes, exactly. You know, everybody on Seven Sins side, they have 1 death each. Wow, I hope that they group up. You know, they group up, they don't tilt, and they find a way to work through this right now in the early game. So there's something that I want to point out. You know, for some reason, Azir, you know, he has a really good ward score this early in the game. It's like you see how his top laner has just 1, but he has 12. So putting down vision wards in the early game is really crucial. It helps you control Rift Herald, it helps you control Drake, it helps your jungler farm safely, and it stops ganks. So that's really good from the side of Spartacus. You know, it does show you a little bit more of experience and whatnot. We do see Katarina bot looking to come in from the back. That's going to be a 2.25 second stun if Echo does go in, but he's going to retreat.
Oh, he's being caught between a lot of people.
Aziz, but that was not a good choice.
Ooh, Katrina bot completely getting caught out of position there. He shouldn't have been there. There wasn't a lot of backup, and Azir is following him. Spartacus with that beautiful rotation coming in. And yeah, they managed to get a kill in the bot lane as well. So a little evening up on things happening, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, one kill on Echo, I think that was just a very silly decision by him. You know, sometimes when you just get too greedy and then you just want more and you don't actually assess the situations. So I think that was basically what backfired for Katarina bot right there. We see a lot of pings coming in on the Rift Herald, and it will go on to the side of Gatekeepers. Very well done, you know, objectives being taken. They got the Infernal Drake first, and now they got the Rift Herald. Right now, Gatekeepers is playing this game the way that they want it to be. And Dominic, with these trash hooks, you know, I don't know how I feel about them, but 7 Sins, they gotta come up with a game plan right now, and we gotta see it.
That's very true. We see a lot of progress happening this game. Gatekeepers has been playing really nice. Macro on both teams sort of is strong, and we just have sort of like a 2k gold lead, sort of like a 3k gold lead, but that's not much. Most of the gold lead is on Mundo at this point. So yeah, Mundo is getting beefier and beefier. He has that Spirit Visage. He has that Spectral Scout completed, and he'll soon be going into completing that Spirit Visage. Once he gets that on, won't be dealing him much damage. So definitely Venom will be that beefy threat coming in. Tristana and Kaisa both are on their way to complete the first item. Nautilus does have that Moby boots, but we don't see any rotations coming in from Nautilus. Do you think it's time he should maybe rotate towards mid lane?
Well, that's a very good point that you have there. You know, the next dragon is going to be coming up, and it's also an Infernal Drake. This Moby Boots, it's going to serve him well because he can choose to use it. You know, if Gatekeepers can identify to invade the jungle, get the whole vision going, because Nautilus, he does have his vision item up already. It's already been activated, Celestial Eye. So I hope he backs early, gets that set up, or starts setting it up now, because he does have that movement speed advantage over Thresh. Yeah, I like that movie boost, you know. And right now we do see it. It's happening right before our very eyes. The second Infernal Drake goes to Gatekeepers.
They sort of sneaked that one out. I mean, Seven Sins had no idea they were doing that Infernal Drake. There's no vision over there. And Echo and Copy, they just started doing the Drake. Bot lane pretty much pretended like everything's fine. Nothing's happening, guys. You don't need to look at the Dragon Pit. And they managed to get a second Infernal Drake. So that is almost as much attack damage as one BF sword, I think.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to point out as well, you know, we've seen like a couple of games with 7 Sins. It's like it's always a struggle for them early game, but in the late game, they display a great amount of mechanical ability in team fights. Like, they work so much better from the mid to the late game. So this can still be in 7 Sins' hands. We don't know what they might pull out from, you know, under the sleeve.
Oh, Vanquisher completely out of position there. He was trying to freeze the minion wave for Kaisa to come in, but he will be caught. A nice hook coming in from Dominic, and he will pay for his life for trying to freeze the minion wave there.
I think that was a very, very wasted death from the side of Nautilus. You know, just giving away that free kill. It's going to help Tristana and her scaling. So right now, Gatekeepers shouldn't make 7 Sins fat at all, because Azir and Tristana are just going to become monsters. They're going to be monsters. We haven't quite seen the Azir utilize that teleport in an aggressive play. We see Zac charging up his jump. Is he going to... Yes, he does make it through.
Oh, there's a jump coming in. Zac will land. Beautiful ulti, a beautiful Q. Venom will be fighting there. He'll deal a lot of damage to SK, and SK will die. Potato coming in. And what is that healing on Mundo? They have no healing reduction to take care of Mundo. Thresh will flash out of it. Potato Monster coming in. You will get a double kill, get another kill. And Mundo will be just happy to tank the turret right now. They will also get another kill on Zac. So 3 kills coming in for Kaisa. A TP happening bot lane. Meanwhile, they do catch Spartacus. Spartacus will sort of be able to divide. The Emperor's Divide does save him, but Zuko with that bad teleport trying to save that turret. Vanquisher with a really nice stopwatch, and they get a kill on Zuko as well. Really badly played from the side of Seven Sins.
Beautifully done by Gatekeepers. You know, I hope that they keep this lead up. Right now with 2 Inferno Drakes, I think it's quite possibly GG for 7 Sins. It's not going to be easier like the earlier rounds that they faced, where you know you're more likely to face amateur teams. Right now we are in the quarterfinals. This is when you're going to be up against teams that know what they're doing. And if you make too many mistakes early in the game, it's going to be like a downfall for you, like progressively, and it can also hurt your mental. So let's just see how 7 Sins comes back from this. I'm still worried about the damage side of things, but late game they can scale. It's just right now, this early in the game, it's just not working for them. There are a lot of gold behind, so it's just going to take them an even longer time to scale. If they don't get to that point quick enough with catching kills or farming as well as they can, Gatekeepers is just going to close the game, and that's going to be it.
I mean, last game we saw 7 Sins play, even though they were sort of behind on kills, they were sort of pretty much equal to, I mean, like a very minor deficit on gold. They're sort of able to farm there, but right now, giving sort of a triple kill to Kaisa bot, Kaisa was just able to pick up a triple kill, so that makes him very scary, and that sort of makes him quite ahead of SK at this point. Kaisa almost there to completing his second item, whereas SK hasn't even made the first component to the second item yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see how 7 Sins fight back. Their only hope is that they stall out the game and give Tristana and Azir the amount of farm they need to be able to carry this game. But with a double Inferno, it looks very difficult, because the more the game progresses, the more you scale, the more effective the Infernos get, basically.
Maybe on the bright side for 7 Sins, the next Drake that will be coming up is Ocean Drake. So, you know, that's not too much of a threat. That's probably going to give them a little bit more breathing space. Baron is there, and what is that flash coming out from Lucifer?
Ooh,
the Thresh connects the hook.
Thresh cuts a hook. He shouldn't have gone in. There's an ultimate coming in. They'll get a kill on Dominic. Vanquisher gets a kill on Spartacus. Katrina Bot will get a kill on Spartacus. They're now collapsing on the On. On will die. They're now trying to follow SK. But they don't have heal reductions to deal with that Mundo, and Mundo is just tanking for days. Could we see? Oh my god, they're opening the bot inhibitor. It's 20 minutes in the game. It's 2 for 14. Will they try get any of the Nexus turrets?
Is this actually going to be game?
Is this actually going to be game?
Thresh is coming out, you know, SK is standing there, but they got 2 towers in their base and an inhibitor. That's great. They're pinging for the Ocean Drake. As much as that Drake is useless, that I feel, this is discipline. This is what Gatekeepers are doing. This is discipline. They're going for their objectives. They're going to play everything step by step. Right now, Gatekeepers is playing so beautifully. This is my kind of style of gameplay. Right now, I think I'm a Gatekeepers fan just from watching this. It's great. You know, I did express that I was kind of worried for 7 Sins and, you know, the way their damage is like, because they don't have early game damage. They pick 2 of their carries, which is Azir and Tristana, which are late game scalers, basically. 7 Sins, they gotta find space. They gotta find space for Azir. They gotta find space for Tristana. That decision to fight in the bottom lane instead of, you know, just defend it. They have all the tools to disengage under the tower. Why they didn't use that, I have no clue. But 7 Sins, I hope they are aware of their win conditions, and they show us the creativity, their teamwork, and they show us that they can come back from that.
We finally see an executional calling being picked up from Tristana. They had to learn the lesson a very hard way. Mundo was just tanking there for days. He was just taking every turret hit, but he was still standing, and he was just tanking. He was like, no problem, I'll just keep taking hits, you guys just keep dealing out all the damage, and I'll just be that relentless frontline that doesn't die. Now with that executional blade being picked up, executional calling being picked up, game definitely they're definitely respecting the Mundo, because Morello is an item you can't pick up that early on. You need a lot of gold to pick up that item. So giving an Executioner's Calling, an 800 gold item, is completely worth to an AD carry. And we see them start Baron. At this point, I don't think 7 Sins is in any position to contest that Baron. They don't even have enough vision on that Baron.
It's a free Baron.
It's a free Baron because They just saw.
What?
That was a little troll coming in from the side of Gatekeepers.
Can you just they were just suffering from success. Can you imagine you are that ahead that all of you just walk away because you're just gonna be like, okay, don't worry, my buddy's just gonna last hit that Baron for me. They're suffering from success right now.
I mean, it was sort of embarrassing, but guys, nobody saw that. We're gonna put it in our post tournament clips, but nobody saw that as of now. We see 2 items being completed on that Kai'Sa. Definitely very scary, and that Baron power play coming in. The problem right now is these guys at 7.
The hook lands, and then we see the on coming in with the ulti. He tries to engage. He does smash Vanquisher onto the wall. He goes down. No, Vanquisher did not die. It was Zuko that had to give up his
died,
life.
and now they're taking on the turret. They're knocking on doors. Mundo going in very aggressively.
Is this a 23 minute?
This is 20-minute game. They're just trying to hammer down. A fight is still breaking down. Aziz started sort of helping them live for a while. Tristana will get a kill on that. Oh my god, but they were able to get this
That
game.
is a 23-minute game close. Good job, Gatekeepers. A brilliant start to this day. Wow. Great draft, great play. GG, well played to Gatekeepers. Well, they still have one more game to win. You know, game 2 will start very shortly, guys. So do stay tuned. Thank you for watching. And also, you can follow this tournament progress on legion.lenovo.com. We'll be back in a bit with more matches of the Rise of Legion Indian League of Legends tournament powered by Intel. I'll see you. My name is Apollonia, and with me was Anthracite.
See you guys real soon with the second game.
To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, Savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors. To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors.
Hi guys, welcome to the third quarterfinal, game number 2 on the Rise of Legion Lenovo League of Legends India Championship. I'm joined here by Crow, and we have 7 Sins versus Gatekeepers in the game 2. First game we saw Gatekeepers take it in a very dominant fashion in a 23-minute game. Crow, what are your expectations coming off game 2?
Yeah, I think there were some clear things that Seven Sins can work out, and we do see a substitute, and Pyroniobic is playing now instead of Spartacus, so I want to see what he brings into the team after watching the game from the sidelines.
That's very true. We see Vladimir, we see Swain being banned out. Vlad Swain, 2 champions, which is Pyro, is known for playing a lot. So they definitely are respecting it. They're not letting him have any of those champions. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see a Katarina being banned out. Katabot, known as a one-trick Katarina, you can't let him be on that champion. And we see a Mundo being banned out. Definitely a respect ban coming in. Venom last game on that Mundo was just a nuisance. They couldn't even win.
Yeah, definitely. And right now we do see the Cho'Gath being left open that Venom is known much better for. So let's see if they decide to first pick that over here.
They definitely did leave the Cho'Gath open, but Cho'Gath is not a sort of champion you can sort of blind pick, I feel. It's quite easy to sort of pick a champion and be able to counter that Cho'Gath. So it'll be interesting what they decide to go through. And they pick up that Pantheon not being banned out. Definitely Pantheon is one of the most contested picks. Like I said before, next patch we are expecting a Pantheon nerf coming in. What are your thoughts on Pantheon this patch?
Yeah, he's such an amazing first pick because he could essentially go into 4 different roles all at once. Like even support jungle is not that far off. So having it as a early flex pick has a lot of power in it.
We see a Nunu being picked up and we see a Morgana being picked up. So definitely a high CC champion coming in the sort of Morgana and Nunu. Well, he's just so much sustained and he's so annoying. And Cho'Gath being picked up, that was the Cho'Gath we were talking about. So both the solo laners picked up this quick. What are your thoughts? Because we don't see this happening too often.
Yeah, and it's definitely a comfort pick. So maybe it is a pick that he is more comfortable on. Even if you would give him a counter pick, maybe he would end up picking this itself. So, and if they just do ban it out in the second phase, which they probably should if it was open, this might be the last chance to pick it up, I guess.
That's true, but we see Pantheon, Cho'Gath and Caitlyn, all the sort of carries being picked up and only the jungle and the support remaining. Don't you think this just gives more leeway to Seven Saints to sort of counter pick?
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm sure that Venom knows the most difficult matchups that Cho'Gath would have, considering he's played it a lot, so he might just choose to ban out Cho'Gath counters over here. On the other side, it could still be like a Pantheon jungle, and they could still pick their mid laner later on.
That's very true. We see a Vayne being picked up on SK. SK is notorious for the Vayne. He's played Vayne for the longest time, probably since season 1. And he's a challenger Vayne, so definitely some scary stuff coming in. We see Kiana being banned out. Katrina bot is known to spam a lot of Kiana in Grandmaster, so they definitely don't want to take the chance in case Pantheon decides to go jungle. They don't want that Kiana going mid, or even as a matter of fact, they don't want that Kiana going jungle. Kiana just right now can just deal insane burst amount of damage. We also see a Malzahar being banned out and a Syndra being banned out. Why are we seeing a lot of Syndra being banned out recently?
I think it's also the fact that people are playing Syndra in the bottom lane as well, though we do have the Caitlyn locked in already. And that's not going to be the case this game, but Syndra has been a really strong pick, especially when you want to make picks and just 100 to 0 people like the Vayne who might want to dodge out of skill shots.
That's very true. We see a Fizz being banged out. So Fizz mid lane is definitely very, very annoying. Looking at both team comps right now, it both look sort of like a fighting team comp. It's very interesting to see what they decide to go pick ahead. We see a Nar being picked up, so that's definitely one of the more top lane comfort champions, one of the champions that can stay quite safe in the top lane and is still able to farm. Crow, I know you're a top laner, you've played the top lane before. How is Nar's matchup against most top laners?
So, especially into someone like Cho'Gath, Nar does have a lot of potential to just bully him out of the lane since it's a ranged versus melee one. But Cho'Gath also has a lot of sustain while Nar doesn't have them, so depending on how the trades go, the lane could go either way. We do see like the Karma being picked in as well, so we'd have both the bot lanes locked in.
Ooh, they are hovering over another mid pick, so that most definitely means a Pantheon jungle. I don't know what they can pull off at this point. Is it a Rise? Yes, it's a Rise. So definitely Rise mid lane with Katrina. It's going to be very, very interesting how this team comp looks.
Yeah, especially whatever mid laner they pick over here, they need to be really careful because Pantheon's turn into Rise route is a real threat that they need to be careful of.
That's very true. We're waiting for the last pick, and I guess it's the mid lane. Zuko will pick that Ari for the mid lane. Pyro will play that Ari mid. So, are you expecting that Glacial Augment Ari, or are you expecting a more sort of an Electrocute Burst Ari?
I am expecting the Glacial Augment Ari because if you look at the team from Gatekeepers, most of these are champions without gap closers. So having that extra CC from all of those item actives will mean a lot in landing skill shots from all of these guys.
That's true. Double teleport being run on both sides, plus you have a Pantheon. The amount of global pressure coming in is just massive from Gatekeepers, and we've seen they've done extremely well macro plays and extremely well rotation. which lane do you think the jungler should focus on the side of Gatekeeper?
So it's easiest for the Pantheon to just spam gank mid lane, especially in the early game, because you have the Rise route to set it up. Because down in the bottom lane, you do have the Black Shield from the Morgana, and in the top lane, a Gnar can just hop away if he's playing the lane correctly. So the middle lane is where both the junglers should be focusing their attention towards.
That's very interesting. We see Ignite's being picked up on both sides again. It's basically the same summoner spells going in. We see Pyro changing it to an Ignite at the very last moment. So definitely he's trying to look for a kill lane against Rise. Rise early game is a bit weak, but the more the game progresses, the more strong the Rise gets. Looking at the Caitlyn Karma lane, how annoying do you think that lane is?
It is fairly annoying, especially because both Morgana is has a hard time against the Karma, and the Caitlyn already outranges the Vayne. So it's going to be interesting to see how Seven Sins decide to play out the early laning phase, especially because once the Caitlyn gets a lead in a lane, it's very hard for them to give it up because she's such a straightforward champion in what she does.
That's very true. Caitlyn farming, getting farmed up is pretty annoying. SK is someone who's reached challenger, playing most of his games as Vayne. He's definitely had experience of Vayne on. He's played like literally 1,000 games on Vayne. Is it
Yeah.
advisable to let a one trick be on a one trick?
So that does make sense most of the time that that is their comfort pick, but we also have to see how that affects the rest of the team comp, right? Like, for example, Vayne is a decent pick here because you do have a Cho'Gath that you would eventually need to shred through. So I like the Vayne pick, and at the same time, since it's his one trick, he's going to be even more better on it than other people. But I don't think it's fair to say that he's a one trick at this point because he has shown that he can play any AD carry at a high level, and there have been other AD carries that he has performed on before as well.
That's very true. It's going to be a very interesting game. I can't wait to see how this game is going to pan out to be. Uh, Definitely, the global pressure coming in on the side of Gatekeepers is a lot. Two teleports and a Pantheon who can just jump around. How do you think Seven Sins should play against this sort of double teleport of jumping Pantheon comp?
So
What do you
they
think the
definitely
strategy?
have like side wave pressure because the Nar does have should have prio on the Cho'Gath in most cases. So they should be looking to get those early plates in case someone goes off to another lane, or they should look for positive trades and then try to force out the teleport from the laners so that they can eventually get their own leads because both of these solo lanes have gotten the counter pick of their choice at the end. So they should be winning lane.
That's very true. We say we I can't really wait for this game to start. Do you think we are looking at a game three, or do you think Gatekeepers can close it in game two?
So I think based on last game, if you give gatekeepers an early game lead while you yourselves have some scaling champions, they're just going to finish it without making many mistakes. So right now they just need to focus on not losing their early game too much. They do have scaling in their lanes, so they just need to be patient.
And we are in the game. We see that Conqueror Cho'Gath coming in. A sort of Cho'Gath Venom is known for. And Pantheon decides to go press the attack as a jungle Pantheon. It's sort of interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Pressy attack is a lot stronger when you're doing a lot of short trades, but it's not as good in extended team fights. So if you use your Pantheon's empowered W, that gives 3 auto attacks at the end of it, which procs press the attack instantly, similar to Renekton. So it does have its synergy with him, and it's stronger early game, but doesn't scale as well as Conqueror.
That's very true. Nar also we see with the press the attack come in. So he's definitely wants to harass that Cho'Gath more. He's looking forward to sort of deal more and more damage to Cho'Gath. Uh, so Nunu could actually even he could even rotate up top, seeing how immobile Cho'Gath is early game, and they really need to start shutting down Cho'Gath early game, or because the later the game goes, the more fat and beefy the Cho'Gath becomes, the harder he is to kill.
Yeah, and Cho'Gath is one of those champions you just need to gank early game because that's how vulnerable he is. Most of his gank disengage comes from skill shots, so someone like Nar or someone with a gap closer can easily get over them and just keep auto attacking him.
And we start the game with a customary pause. It's a good luck sign. I also see Venom giving me a shout out with that ritual. So SK, it's a very interesting team chat going in between both teams. I'm pretty excited. I really hope I see a game 3 because till now it's been quite a nail-biting series. I wouldn't want it to go in sort of a storm fest. So I really want to see if Seven Sins can really fight back and push this to a game 3. On paper, looking at both comps, who do you think looks stronger on paper?
Both teams do have their scaling, and I think jungle will be the name of the game this time. I think Copy is on a champion that can influence the early game really well. So I'm giving the early game to Gatekeepers for now, but if that jungle pressure is absorbed properly, then the later the game goes on, SK on Vayne should be able to carry it.
Yes, we are still in the pause time, but I think we're going to start this game as soon as possible. Some technical issues, some technical difficulties we are facing right now. Morgana Vayne bot lane versus a Karma and a Caitlyn. How do you
Yeah.
think the bot lane is going to pan out to be?
So Karma pretty much counters most of Morgana's kit, right? You can just use your Q to remove the black shield and then your W snare is still going to hit. So that way it's going to be hard for the Morgana to play it out. And the Caitlyn also does outrange the Vayne. So that is a lane where the Morgana Caitlyn are simply going to get harassed and pushed under their tower. And it'll be up to them to maintain their CS while being under the tower and try not to give up too much plate gold early. Because if the Caitlyn starts getting too ahead just from platings and better CS, then the mid game becomes very hard for Seven Sins.
Yeah, we're waiting for the game to start again. Ours are being called out. We're going into the game soon. Do you see any funny business happening level 1 from any side of the either side of the team?
Usually someone from a Morgana team would like to invade, but I'm assuming that both teams are just going to fan out and defend the jungle entrances. That's simply the safer play in most cases, and it prevents too much information from going out to the other team.
That's very true. And the game's been unpaused. We're going in game Wayne with that Doran shield start. So he's definitely SK is definitely respecting the sort of port Kate and Karma can offer. Do you think it's very important to contain SK early game?
So I think Potato and Vanquisher are like on champions that enable them to win the laning phase by default. So the containing part should happen by itself, but it'll be up to Copy and TD Lucifer to influence that lane so that neither of them fall too far behind. Because once a Caitlyn falls behind, it becomes very hard for her to stay relevant in fights, especially when you have someone like Ari who will keep jumping on her every second.
That's very true. We see Rai starting from that corrupting motion, a pretty standard start. He will be looking to pick that tier as soon as possible, start stacking in as mana as quick as possible. Looking at team fight, if we do come to that stage, which team looks much stronger in a team fight sort of setup?
I think in team fights it'll all depend on Zuko and his Dar. That would be the game-changing ultimate that can define what happens to Gatekeepers essentially. Because if you get a good Nar ult, you have all of these champions with no gap closers, right? So once they get stuck in a CC chain, they're gonna stay there. Then the Nunu ult will follow, Morgana ult will follow. So it's going to be all on Zuko to make the game-winning plays or the flanks.
We do see a deep ward coming in from Ari. So they will spot that the Pantheon did start on the red side of the jungle. Meanwhile, the Nunu also started on the red side of the jungle, so we don't see parallel pathing coming in. It's sort of the opposite direction where they both started. So it'll be very interesting to see what lane do these jungler decide to start ganking. I hope we see something happen with Cho'Gath early game. Ooh, that there's some sort of a serious poke coming in around Dominic at level 1.
Yeah, the Cho'Gath has started the queue in order to just farm the minions from range, so...
Oh, they're going ham in on Karma. Karma will have to burn his flash, and Potato will has to burn his heal to make Karma stay alive. Level 1, so much damage, and Karma almost dying.
Yeah, this is surprising to see because you would assume the Caitlyn Morgana lane would get the push in early, but it's the other way around. Since I guess Caitlyn Morgana had to go leash the Pantheon, so having level 1 priority on the wave means that SK and the Morgana get level 2 first.
Ooh, Flow's been traded up in mid lane also. So now that they've decided to switch things up, they're bringing Pyro in instead of Doc. I'm sure you've played with both players before. What strategy change do you expect to see on the side of 7 Sins? Ooh, meanwhile, I'm gonna hold you up on that question. Nunu comes in bot, and they will get a first kill on Karma because they had no flash. But Potato is able to answer it. He'll get a W stun on Nunu and will be able to kill the Nunu as well. So 1-for-1 trade going in. Both ADCs managed to get in a kill. But meanwhile, there's a gang going in on mid. Copy going in. He did a lot of damage, and they will be able to pick up a kill on Pyronubic. So Gatekeepers definitely showing early game pressure. Morgana lands a bind on Potato Monster, and SK with the 3-shot, 2 for 2, and we're just 3 minutes in the game.
Yeah, this has been an explosive last minute. There's been a lot of kills going on, and I think the initial kill on the Nunu was good from the Caitlyn, but he got hit by the Morgana binding not soon after and did a buff transfer effectively to the Vayne. And now SK is in a strong place to carry this game from because he has enough sustain to live through the poke.
That's very true. We see SK coming in with that Vamp Scepter from the lanes that will give him more sustain, more ability to trade blows with the Caitlyn. Caitlyn, like you said, it started the game on a back foot. She's already 10 CS behind. She's already SK already has a kill ahead of her. So meanwhile, we see a gank happening top. Lucifer comes in, Zuko and Lucifer will collapse on Venom, and they will get a kill on the Cho'Gath. So 7 Sins turning the game around is showing a lot of dominance early game this time.
Yeah, even though they have some of the scaling picks like the Vayne, they were able to turn those matchups around and have a positive influence on those lanes like with the Nunu. So turning out to be an explosive game in the early phase.
So before this whole gank start happened, I was trying to ask you that they changed the mid lane. They switched from Spartacus to Pyro. What sort of gameplay change do we expect with them sort of switching the mid laners?
I think with Pyro they are looking to make more plays early. They had Spartacus on the Azir last game and he was looking to just scale up and do the big damage in team fights, but I think Pyro is looking more to roam and influence the side lanes with the Zari that he picked up. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the next 3 or 4 minutes pans out when the Ahri has 6 with probably a completed glacial item.
That's very true. Meanwhile, if you look at the warding, we see more amount of wards coming in from the red side, blue side. I mean, at this point they're both same. Last game we saw a very high warding score coming from Doc, and this game we are seeing Pantheon with sort of the highest warding score. So Pantheon is doing some real work. If Pantheon gets fat, is it scary?
Yeah, because Pantheon right now is super overtuned and he can do a lot of damage while also avoiding it with his shield. So Pantheon getting kills is definitely a scary thing for anyone on the side of 7 Sins.
Pantheon will be spotted up bot. SK will back off a bit, respecting the Pantheon gang coming in. Cho'Gath still hasn't started sort of building in on his HP. You see him coming in with 2 daggers. So I don't really understand why, but could you throw some insight on that?
So this is the Venom special, no one else really does it. He's rushes Triforce on Cho'Gath every time. he's also gone for the Conqueror, so it's just Venom's Cho'Gath.
It's just Venom Cho'Gath indeed. I've seen most Cho'Gath players play it with Glacial Augment, sort of gives you that guaranteed CC for you to land that Q and follow-up damage is too much. Meanwhile, Zuko going in on Venom, he will be dealing some damage, but they'll just trade blows and Zuko will be happy to walk out of there.
Yeah, now most of the lanes are going pretty much even. One thing of note is that the Gnar hasn't placed a ward yet, and neither has the Caitlyn. Both of them have 0 vision scores. Caitlyn has been pushed in, so it's a bit hard. You see a gank in the mid lane now.
That's true. Do we see a gank in the mid lane now? We see a. I think, sorry, I think my screen just lagged out. But yeah, we're back in the game. Gnar is pretty much safe. He's got that 1 assist early on. He'll be looking to ramp up on that farm as quick as possible. And Gnar, when it comes to a team fighting comp, how crucial is that champion?
Yeah, because Gnar, while Gnar's presence in a team fight depends on many things. Like even before a team fight starts, he needs to be managing his rage properly. Because if you TP in as mini Gnar, you're not really scary at any point. So you want to TP in with a full rage bar or like in mega form.
That's
You see an all-in bot lane here. The Caitlyn gets rooted up and stunned, and SK gets a kill on the Caitlyn by flashing over the wall. That was a really good play by the Morgana there.
That was a really good play by Morgana indeed. Bot lane is not going the way Gatekeepers panned out to be. I mean, when you see a Vayne being picked up, you would figure that the Vayne would struggle early game, but they're sort of making Potato struggle early game more. Is this the one trick thing coming in? Like, you never let a one trick play a one trick?
Yeah, especially in crucial games like these, those were the champions on which you would want your carries to be on, because that is the champion from which he will definitely carry.
Ooh, there's a flash engage coming in from Katrina bot. Even Pyro will burn his flash. He will just survive at a sliver of HP. Meanwhile, Nunu coming in on Katarina bot mid. Zuko will also rotate, so there's a beautiful rotation. 3-man mid, and they secure a kill on Katrina bot. Pyro Cubic gets that kill. Beautiful rotation coming in on the side of 7 Sins. It feels like I'm seeing a completely different team right now.
Yep, the last game was everyone doing things silently, but this game has been way more explosive in the first 10 minutes. The score is 2-5. So I'd like to see Copy being a bit more proactive, because right now he is having difficulties ganking lanes because both the top lane and the bot lane aren't doing too great.
That's very true. Potato is pretty much behind right now. He's still somehow managing to be even on the CS. SK will be happy to freeze the lane right now and farm. What strategy do you think should come on the side of Gatekeepers now that the Caitlyn is actually behind in the start and Vayne is so far up ahead?
They really need to look for a TP play, because the Cho'Gath's TP is going to come back up soon, and they'll have the Pantheon ultimate, so they need to wait for the Nunu to go somewhere topside and then look for that play, because with numbers advantage they will be able to claim that bounty.
Ooh, the sort of freezing in the bot lane has started hurting Caitlyn a bit. Caitlyn will be able to pick up all the CS, but she's been denied XP, and it's becoming difficult for Caitlyn to stay in the lane. Like you said, it's very hard for Caitlyn to be played if you're sort of behind in the early game. Do you think Copy needs to sort of focus bot, since it's been pushed in a lot every single time?
It is being pushed in, but I think if the Nunu is on the same side of the map, they just straight up lose the 3v3. So he just needs to make sure that they don't get dove, and it's not like Caitlyn is weak in the late game either, right? So scaling is not bad, but they just need to lose a bit more gracefully.
That's very true. Meanwhile, Copy spots Nunu charging his Bordler up mid, and Nunu will just escape from there. There would be no fight, so really nice pathing coming in from both junglers. They're sort of mirroring each other at this point. Does that happen a lot when you play with each other in custom games or regular ARAMs or regular lobbies?
I think here it is more of both the junglers wanting to influence both the bot and mid lane, because no one seems to want to gank the Cho'Gath at this point. He's way too tanky and it's difficult to gank a Gnar lane in many form, so they're just looking to hang around the top, I mean the mid and bot side at this point.
Ooh, Cho'Gath dealing some serious damage on Gnar. Gnar has his first item completed, whereas Cho'Gath is still waiting to complete his Triforce. Okay, so I haven't seen Venom play much. Your thoughts on the Venom special? How does the Conqueror Cho'Gath work?
So the setup is that you have the phage movement speed from the Triforce, and then you also have the approach velocity from the Inspiration 3. So when you start maxing out your E on Cho'Gath, you end up doing a lot of damage because there's no way anyone runs from you once you
Oh,
have
there's
the-
a binding landing on the bot, and they will be able to secure another kill on Potato Monster. SK going a bit ham will deal some damage to Karma, but Karma should be able to work out of that. Ooh, a lot of jungle pressure coming in bot. Potato is not having the time of his life at bot lane right now.
Yeah, as long as the Pantheon was hovering around in the bot side, there's no way they make that play, but as soon as he got spotted or when they think he has recalled, they just go for that play.
They really need to save the bot lane at this point. They should actually look at sort of uh, bringing in more resources bot. We haven't seen any TP play happen as of now, and Seven Sins will be able to secure the Ocean Drake. How important is an Ocean Drake?
We have almost reached the end of the laning phase, but I think during the laning phase, Ocean Drake is one of the strongest drakes to have because you can keep regenerating your health and mana while you're not fighting any champion. So for someone like Ari or for someone like even Vayne who's under a lot of harass, it would be an amazing thing. But considering they're already this far ahead, I think it's just a drake they've taken to cycle to the next one, which is going to be an Infernal Drake.
It's very true. Copy taking up that blue buff. He's definitely feels he's a bit behind, so he's not passing it to Rise as of yet. Copy, what does he need to like? Do you feel he needs to turn things around at this point?
Yeah, we haven't seen a Pantheon ultimate yet, and he needs to be around the right lane to deny a play from the enemy, and hopefully that way he can get himself and his laner ahead.
So, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Lenovo page. That's the page you're watching right now. To get updates from some of the best and some of the top streamers in the Indian subcontinent. If you like to follow more progress in this tournament, don't forget to log on to legion.lenovo.com. And there's a gang going in bot lane. Rise with an ultimate, being able to push him off, but it's the 4-man bot coming in, and they will get a return kill on Copy instead. There's a teleport coming in. Gnar is also there. His rage bar is not enough. He's still trying to pan up on the range. Pyro will come in from behind, get a kill on Katrina bot. Gnar gets a double kill. He will transform Flash, throw Potato Monster in, and that's a blind lightning in. A triple kill coming in for Gnar, and oh my god, that was so badly played by Gatekeepers.
Yeah, they had the right idea to collapse on the Vayne, but the Black Shield coming in clutch and SK condemned the Pantheon away, so the play simply did not end up working out. And even though Venom did have the TP, he chooses not to use it, and that could have potentially been the game-winning fight that he wasn't part of.
A 5-0-2 win with a completed BOTRK. How scary is that?
Yeah, especially when your tanks and your carries aren't online yet. Something like that is going to just take over the game.
Pantheon most definitely needs to step up on his gank and on his positioning.
We see a solo kill on the Ari from the Pantheon here.
Oh, and as soon as I said that, we sort of saw Copy come in and get that solo kill. So Pantheon, he definitely he needs to get more of this to the side of Gatekeepers. Meanwhile, Seven Sin are knocking on that bot turret. Just to remind you guys, the first turret hasn't gone down, so they would be looking to concentrate more on the bot turret.
Yeah, and now that Venom at least has his TP advantage over the Gnar, he can look for a play. But we see a gank at the top side.
We see a gank at the top. Pantheon coming in. He will land a W, but so does Katrina bot coming in. Zuko will manage to ulti them in the turret, but they will secure the kill, and with that they should be able to push the top turret. when Lucifer realizes that he will come in bot, and at this point they'll be racing in for the first turret gold. I think the first turret gold, the first turret go down to 7 Sins, and Pyro is able to save the top turret from falling down. So a really nice rotation coming in from Lucifer, realizing 3 people were top.
Yeah, and Gatekeepers respond by taking the Rift Herald, so that will allow them to open up the additional towers wherever they choose to use it in. It's going to be interesting to see where they choose to use it, because once they open up a lane, they can start impacting the map better with their globals.
So, considering the plating meta, how important
Oh, the
is it?
Caitlyn is stuck at the bottom lane.
Oh, they are all gonna collapse on that Caitlyn. Potato Monster. He's just gonna try to run into the turret, and he will die. Caitlyn definitely not respecting the position. He was way far up ahead than he should have been. Do you think there's sort of a mental play coming in on the Caitlyn?
Yeah, he was walking up too far forward without having vision in the right places. So if you see the bot side jungle from Gatekeepers, they simply don't have enough wards at this point. But once the Caitlyn did spot them, I think it was already too late.
You've played a lot of tournaments before. How important does mental play as a factor in considering a Caitlyn is going so far up behind? Do you think plays like this shatters your mental sort of in the game?
It depends on player to player, honestly. Like, for example, I think 7 Sins got a pretty hard defeat last time, but they are coming back from it.
And there's a fight going on over the Infernal turret. Red team will be able to secure it, but Pyro dies. Katrina will get a kill. So one death for one Infernal turret, for one Infernal Drake. Was that worth it?
It depends on what they do while the Ari's death timer is running, because if they don't get anything out of it, it's still a positive trade. They do charge the Rift Herald mid lane, so it's going to be a tower.
The Rift Herald mid. It is definitely a tower. They will answer. 3 people bot, 3 people mid from both sides. Lucifer has to flash out because Cho'Gath's Q was about to connect there. So another flash being burned on the side of Nunu. Flash is sort of important for Nunu when he's sort of looking for the ulti plays. So they can now start to play around the flash timers of Nunu. Venom is started to get beefy. So on the Conqueror sort of a Cho'Gath, the more late the game goes, how scary is that Cho'Gath becoming? Just free farming there up top.
He is going to be very scary with the Conqueror because his E does do percentage max health damage. So on the likes of the Nunu, on the Gnar, anyone that he's auto attacking, he's going to start doing true damage to them that it's going to be very hard to build against.
That's very true. So I'm really excited to see how this game pans out. The 2 Drakes are in the favor of 7 Sins. What strategy, what gameplay do you think should come in on the side of Gatekeepers? Should they prolong the game even more, or has it reached the point where they try for some desperate engages?
I don't think they have a way to do a desperate engage. All they can do is like split the lanes and do stuff like 1-3-1s and then suddenly collapse on someone with their globals. So that should be their game plan, and I think it's on 7 Sins to look to hard engage fights.
That's very true. They're trying to take the top turret so that they get the Baron priority. 20 minutes in, the Baron spawned already. Vanquisher and Venom both there up top. Venom is surprisingly holding the lane against the Vayne pretty well. We see 3 people come in top. They definitely want the top turret. They definitely want that Baron priority. So 7 Sins displaying some really nice macro play at this point.
Yeah, they just get more people there, and there's no way Venom can hold against all of them.
We see Potato sort of disoriented. He sort of doesn't know what lane to stick to, where to farm. You see him hovering over mid. He's pretty behind on CS. He's very behind on kills. 5 deaths coming in on that Caitlyn. 1 item to 2 completed items. Is this something you need? Is this something worth worrying over extremely?
Yeah, definitely, because right now Caitlyn is in a serious power throw where she needs at least 2 Zeal items more to start ramping up the damage. And it's going to be very hard for her to navigate fights where an RE is going to jump on you, an R is going to jump on you, and even SK on the Vayne will jump on you with a Black Shield on himself, so it's going to be very difficult for him to play team fights over here.
This is sort of like a complete 180 happening from game 1. What do you think was the main reason for this happening?
I think 7 Sins had a very slow early game in game 1, and people were probably not playing champions they were very comfortable on, so this time they look more in sync with what they want to do.
Ooh, Venom and Zuko trading blows. Zuko will be able to push Venom out behind. Will be able to harass him even more. They're now prepping up for that Baron. They have started the Baron pretty early on. Do you think we see a fight here, or do you think we see them take the Baron pretty comfortably? Blue team sort of hovering over there. We see ping being issued, but they haven't sort of started making a play. Rise with that ultimate, and here comes his Venom.
The Baron steal!
Baron has been stolen. It's brilliant. They're turning the fight around. Venom gets a kill. Now Tristana will also get a kill. Zuko comes in from behind. He will kill up. He will clear up and be able to get a kill on that Karma. But a 4-for-1 trade with the Baron steal.
The gold is dead even now. That one play was all it took. The Rise ultimate into the Baron pit, where everyone had lowered resistances because of the extended Baron fight, was all it took for Gatekeepers to win that fight.
That's true. And you see Cho'Gath with that red buff just regenerating HP at such a fast pace. He's already started to become that annoying tank. He just stood there. He dealt so much damage. And Copy with that brilliant steal. Perfect timing on his smite. So how badly do you think it's going to cost 7 Sins?
This could be the potential comeback fight that the Gatekeepers were looking for, because that was a perfect team fight for them, because the way the Cho'Gath silence hit everyone there, they had no answer.
We see an initiation coming in from Nunu. He will go in deep. Meanwhile, Karma will be caught. He will take some damage, will survive. Zuko will be able to get the kill on Karma, but Zuko also falls down. Meanwhile, Katrina bot SK will get a kill on Copy. Nunu will try to collapse more. There's a double kill coming in for Katrina bot. Now they're trying to change all the resources to the Caitlyn, and Caitlyn will fall down. So that's a 4-for-2 trade in the favor of 7 Sins.
Yeah, that was a very split fight from Gatekeepers. They weren't positioned in the right place, and the Nar got a decent ult on the carries of Gatekeepers, even though he died following that. And SK, the cleanup crew with the Blade of their own King Jinso's, just cleaned it up.
That's very true. SK is looking very, very scary right now. They get that middle turret, even though they had the Baron advantage at that point. And we don't see the Baron buff on anybody at this point. They will be happy to get the tier 2 turret as well in the mid lane. So that was definitely very well played by the side of 7 Sins.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Gatekeepers had a chance to reset after that Baron. So they might have had unspent gold on some of their champions. So now again we see a 2000 gold lead for 7 Sins, and the Vayne is only going to get stronger and stronger, and it's still going to take some time for the Caitlyn to come online. So it's going to be interesting to see how Gatekeepers decide to stall out the next few minutes.
We see that Cho'Gath completing that Righteous Glory. He definitely wants to be able to charge in sort of the backline and be able to bite that Vayne, because that's almost the only hope I feel. If he can just deal sort of that true damage on Vayne and manage to get a kill on their Vayne, that's the only way they can turn the fight and turn the game around.
Yeah, and we do have the Pantheon and the Rise who are doing damage of their own right, so once they get the Vayne in a bunch of CC, I think there is enough follow-up damage from the Caitlyn from the Rise to just shut her down.
It's very true. Top lane sort of pushing in on the side of 7 Sins. They do manage to get the tier 2 turret. So it's a 3-for-4 in turrets. Gatekeepers are behind, but it's definitely comebackable. Meanwhile, a fight breaks down. They will almost definitely instantly get a kill on Karma. And now they're collapsing in on the Cho'Gath. Shutdown comes in. Nunu channeling his ulti. He will deal a lot of damage, but Potato is managing to get a kill. Triple kill coming in for Vayne. Is that a quadra? That's a quadra kill. Rise has been caught. Do we see a penta kill coming in? Katrina bot got between 3 people. They're going to deal a lot of damage. And SK gets a pentakill, the first pentakill of this tournament.
Yeah, that was an amazing fight from 7 Sins. They had everyone in the choke point and Vayne was free hitting everyone. Even the Cho'Gath with 2000 HP means nothing in front of that Borkenso's Vayne build.
To all the people watching this game, guys, please learn your lesson. Don't let SK be on that Vayne. He's just too comfortable, and you can just see the dominant side of SK come in when he's on that Vayne. He's just so relentless. Pentakill, beautiful positioning, picking up kills after kills after kills, and he's so far up ahead with that QSS coming in.
Yeah, and even the Morgana Black Shields have been on point this game, and it allows the carries of 7 Sins to position as aggressively as they want to.
The game is looking very bleak for the side of Gatekeepers. 7 Sins showing a very dominant performance in game 2. It's almost a 4k gold lead. Definitely comebackable, but it's going to be a very tough uphill battle nonetheless.
Yeah. I don't think that Gatekeepers are playing to their win conditions properly because they do have the global advantage with the Pantheon and Rise, so them grouping up to do a straight up 5v5 fight is definitely not working out.
I mean, when I saw a double teleport and when I saw a Pantheon and a Rise, I was just expecting so much pressure early game, but we didn't see any teleport plays sort of come in by like the 10th or the 11th mark, and by then it was already too late. The Vayne was already too bad. They did try a desperation play with Rise and Pantheon in bot, but that also sort of turned around, and now they're just trying to position in for the Baron. Do you think Gatekeepers can actually fight this Baron?
The Rise is too far away, but if the past is a thing, then Copy can look to steal it again. He does have the flash.
Well, they will be hoping for Copy to steal in. Venom also going in. He will land his Q. And Venom sort of steals it with his bite. Sun landing on Lucifer. He wasn't able to smite it. And the fight breaks out bot lane. SK will pop his QSS. Now he's turning around to deal a lot of damage. And Pyro gets a kill on Copy. They are turning the fight around. 4 people have died on the side of 7 Sins. And Gatekeeper with another Baron steal. Oh my god, it's so hard to do a Baron against a Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I think they didn't realize that the Cho'Gath had his feast up and that was something that would one-shot the Baron at low health. And they simply didn't respect his presence in the pit there.
Oh, Rise with an ulti to make sure they're not wasting any time. They get the mid inhibitor. And this sort of opens up more space for them. So a beautiful rotation coming in from Katrina bot, and now they'll be rotating towards that Infernal Drake. That would make them very even on Drake. So we see Infernal on both sides, we see Ocean on both sides.
Yep, and for the first time this game, Gatekeepers are in a gold lead.
That's very true. How do you think 7 Sins should plan the fight from now on? Oh, Lucifer going in a bit too ham. Vanquisher will try to do some damage. There's a TP coming in from Nar. Nar, at the moment he lands, he'll eat up that Q from Cho'Gath and they will back off. So a TP wasted. Desperation attempt coming in from 7 Sins. Do you feel it was needed for the TP play to happen there?
I think that was a decent place to fight because Gatekeepers haven't spent any of the gold that they got from that play yet. So 7 Sins were definitely in a strong position to fight, but Gatekeepers did a good job of recognizing that they shouldn't be fighting there and they disengaged there.
So most definitely, it's time 7 Sins sort of learn their lesson to not try that Baron when all of them are up. It's just too much of a hassle when you have a Cho'Gath, when you have a Pantheon. You can just fly in and sort of try to steal away from that Nunu, because if the Nunu is stunned, he can't either smite or bite. So I think Gatekeepers is playing very well from behind in this game.
Yeah, everyone is doing their jobs really well. Like even the Caitlyn, who was so far behind, now has a 150 gold bounty with double Zeal item and the Infinity Edge, close to 90% crit.
That's very true. SK still has the 12 kills. He still has a lot of items advantage over the Vayne, over the Caitlyn. But the more late game we go, the more we realize the gold is not going to play that much of a difference when both
Yeah.
ADC has full items. So it's not looking good for Seven Saints. They're very far up ahead, and now they're sort of throwing this game away, if I may.
Yeah, those two Baron calls were kind of unnecessary because they took them when the enemy jungler was up and they did not really have a numbers advantage. I think they have been overestimating how fast they could take that Baron because they don't really have like the Earth Drakes that help you do that, right? They do have a Vayne, but that's about it. Everyone else is pretty slow.
That's very true, and they also keep forgetting the fact that there's a Cho'Gath. Like I said,
Yeah.
1000 true damage on Baron is no joke. You can't outsmite a Cho'Gath. It's almost impossible to outsmite a Cho'Gath.
Yep, definitely. And I think even in the last play, the Cho'Gath silenced the Nunu so he couldn't Q and just the smite landed. So that could have been a reason why the Nunu smite Q did not hit.
That's very true. They're trying to knock on the top turrets. They're trying to push in. Looking at the the wards, definitely a lot of wards being placed on the side of 17. Morgana's ward score is 70, and Nunu also with that 45 ward score coming in. So it's very commendable. Pantheon early game had an insane amount of work. Pyro will land that charm and will be able to deal some damage. Now they're trying to collapse on Venom. A fight breaking out. Venom will take a lot of damage. He will die. And they have no front line. Lucifer missing that ulti completely. Now SK will try and collapse on Poppy. He's just dealing so much damage. But he will now get a shutdown on Potato Monster. And Poppy will die as well. Meanwhile, Katrina just is pushing. He's sort of trying to XPK this. Karma is there. He's trying to stop the backs. They get one turret. And Katrina might die for the second turret. Do you think that's worth it?
It is now worth it because you do have the Pantheon with the ultimate who can come backdoor it at any time. So Gatekeepers have opened up the base and it's up to 7 Sins, so just keep watching over their back every few seconds.
It indeed is very annoying when you have to keep watching someone come backdoor it. You have Rise ultimate who can just bring the whole team inside to backdoor, and then you have a Pantheon who can just fly in and try to backdoor. So that
And you still have the Triforce Cho'Gath who can kill it with the auto attack reset. So
that's really annoying. So they definitely need to stick around the base area till the middle inhibitor comes up.
yep, and now the objectives are going to respawn soon. Baron's a few minutes off, so it's going to be a while until until that inhibitor spawns. So they need to be very careful for the next few minutes.
Well, if Seven Sins has learned their lesson, we should know that the next Baron, whatever happens, they're not starting it.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, like it's very annoying, the comp in front of it. You see Gatekeepers sort of gathering, sort of forming a strategy. At this point, what do they need to close the game?
They need to bait out 7 Sins into some sort of an objective fight because so far all of the fights that 7 Sins have won, it has been a pick on someone. Like the last fight, the Cho'Gath got caught with the Morgana binding, the Pantheon got caught with the charm. They need to avoid those instances and just try to play front to back because right now Venom and Pantheon are really strong.
That's very true. Now they're trying to catch Venom again. They will deal some damage. SK coming in. Katrina bot on the sideline. He will deal some damage, and now they're turning it around. Venom is too tanky. He's not taking any damage. Lucifer is very low. He has to flash out of there. He will go in. Venom will deal some more damage. He's taken a lot of hits. He should go back, but Pyro will get a kill. He'll try to flash, but he will land on that Caitlyn trap. He'll be chunked down to very low HP, but it's a 1-for-0 trade in the favor of 7 Sins.
Yeah, and now everyone on 7 Sins being low means that these guys have the priority on the Elder Drake and they're going to try rushing it before anyone from 7 Sins can answer.
Ooh, 7 Sins trying to come there as soon as possible, but they're able to sneak out that Elder Drake pretty fast. They do have a vision on Zuko. Root coming in. They're trying to collapse, but they see the whole team and they're like, nope, we'll live to fight another day. Let's back off, guys. So a really nice call being made on the side of Gatekeepers, realizing it was a 4v5.
Yep, because everyone from 7 Sins were about to collapse on them, so that was a fight they didn't really want to take in that choke point.
Yeah, we're looking for a Baron play coming in. Definitely another contestant gonna happen at Baron. And what do you think the strategy should be on the side of Seven Sins? They're pretty much very dominant performance early game, and now they're sort of being harassed and being sort of contained to their own base.
Yeah, and I think they just need to wait out the Elder Dragon buff from the side of Gatekeepers, because if they were losing fights under the Baron pit like that, with the Elder buff, it's going to be an even harder stomp. So they just need to wait out that buff and then fight under their own conditions and not get baited by the pressure of Baron.
That's very true. Do we see Seven Sins trying to go for another Baron? Could this be a mistake?
We see Gatekeepers trying to sneak in their way to the base, and they get spotted out by a ward, so they call it off.
Oh, that was a really nice attempt though. Nuno coming in from that W. He will be pushed up by Venom, and Nuno will be like, sorry guys, let me just back off here. I just came here for the party, but apparently there's no party.
Yep, definitely. And the game has somehow slowed down, and I think both teams are very cautious at this point, because one mistake could just mean the end of the game for either side.
That's very true. We now see a Baron being started on the side of Gatekeepers. They definitely okay, they won't start the Baron, but they are positioning for the Baron. They have shown priority on the Baron. They've shown that they are the team that can steal the Baron. You have that Cho'Gath, which is relentless. He will sort of fight into the Baron. There's no real stun on the side of Seven Sins. I mean, there's only an RE charm, but except that there's no real stun coming on the side of Seven Sins.
On the bot lane though, we see Katarina bot getting free tower after tower. This late game Ryze split push is something that is going to be very scary right now.
Oh, they're trying to collapse on Ryze. Zuko will ulti the Ryze, and Ryze will sort of
and they're looking to end the game.
They're looking to end the game, and is it game? It is game! Oh my god, so Gatekeepers win out of nowhere, and they're going into the semi-finals with a 2-0 victory. Kudos to Seven Sins, they tried really hard. Escape was a beast on that win, but the macro play, the team synergy on the side of Gatekeepers was just too strong for Seven Sins to deal today.
Yeah, once they saw a couple of people near the Baron by baiting it by starting it, they just had the Ryze run it down, who in fact went for the Stinger from the Nasus too, just so he has enough attack speed to end the game.
GG guys, thank you for logging into today's stream. We will be back tomorrow with more game. Signing off, this is Anthracite, and joining me is Crow.
To the untrained eye, you look like everyone else. But you have another side. Embrace it with a machine that's worthy of you. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.